If I was to ask you to describe your reality, your answer and the person next to you's answer would likely be very different. And it begs the question, what is the nature of our reality? Are we living in a chemically derived world, devoid of mystery, devoid of mysticism, and simply existing off the back of chemical chain reactions and flukes of nature? Or are we living within a mesh of many realities, of which ours is only one? Are we living in the sort of reality that does not show itself? Are we living in a so-called reality of which we actually have no idea? Is our reality that which we can only perceive? And if so, what's the relative nature of that perception? Is what I see the same as what you see? Is what we see the same as what an animal sees? And is what an animal sees the same as what a Yowie sees? Are Yowies part of our reality, or are they part of their own reality, periodically visiting ours for reasons not entirely understood by ourselves? One thing is known: the deeper you examine the nature of this so-called reality, the more questions and mysteries are thrown up. We don't know, and we likely can't know the answer to these questions. Our very existence is a search for meaning. Join me as I search for but a small piece of mine. Okay, so we're going to get straight into this today. If you recall, the last time I was here, I found a whole bunch of footprints. The aim right now, let me grab it for you. I bought the plastic kit. Yay! If only I had this bloody last week. Now, I'm going to take the kit, I'm going to head down this way to where the footprints were. The odds of me finding it again, 50-50. The odds of it still being in half decent condition, much lower. We have had rain, and unfortunately all those nice toe imprint details that I found probably not going to be there anymore. But we're going to head on down, we're going to have a look and see. I'm going to see what I can find. Let's cross fingers. There's a lot of down trees through here, but nothing significant. Got to be really careful where I step too. I don't want to step on it. Now, it really stood out. It was an obvious footprint. It was not hard to find. You know what, guys? Perhaps it would have served me well to review the footage and pick out any landmarks, because I ain't anywhere near it, and I just know I'm not anywhere near it. Oh man, I've got a feeling, guys. I mean, it's been a good 20 minutes of walking around in circles here, and I just don't recognize the land. I really should have reviewed the footage again before heading out with the intention to spot landmarks, look for trees, look for things. It just doesn't seem to be the right spot here. I got a feeling we're not going to find this footprint. Found the other ones, the crap ones, but I cannot find this one. Of course, right? The best one you can't find again. And I'm completely fine with finding a new set of prints. Whoa. I got no issues with that. Oh, this bag is not ergonomic to carry, I'll tell you. This is very disappointing, I'll be honest. I did not expect it to be this hard to find again because I knew the basic idea of where I was heading to. I found the other footprints, no problems. This is a little deflating, I must say. I was really excited about casting this footprint. See, this is why you learn your lesson. You're a bloody out hunting Yowie evidence and you don't bring your plaster cast stuff. That's rookie 101 stuff, and I think I'm going to pay. I think I'm going to miss an opportunity to cast a really good footprint. Damn it, man, damn it. Wait a sec. This is interesting. We've got trees going that way. A broken tree there. Then we've got trees breaking that way. Trees breaking that way. Tree break there. And it seems like there was an outward force from this area right here. Let me put this camera down. So from here, got trees that way, trees that way, trees that way. Trees that way. Alright, let me talk to you about why I'm here and I've stopped. I recently did another Yowie communication with Fifi. A brand new one. Some of it may have already been posted, some of it may not have. But I'll give you a little sneak peek regardless, because this wasn't meant to be in this video, of what exactly one of the answers were. And I asked, do they tree break and why? And the response was, yes. Tree breaks are them, and the reason it happens, I've got a spider's web in my eye, and the reason it happens is because it is an outcome, a consequence, a result of them basically entering into this reality. So if you imagine the Terminator, remember how when he arrived he was on all fours in the bubble and kind of it pushed everything away? Similar kind of concept. The energy required to actually go and enter this reality can break trees. Now, you don't normally see a few different directions of trees coming up from the one spot, so that's really interesting. Just noting it. It will make more sense once you see that video. Unfortunately, it really does seem like I'm not going to find that footprint. I've been walking around for half an hour now. I feel like I've scoured every corner. I just can't find the area. I just can't find the spot. It's really disappointing. I think I've learned my lesson. The plaster comes with me every trip from now on. Now, for those that might be new to this series and just tuning into this one, let me give you a bit of an update as to why I'm here. Last time I came out, I came to this exact spot. and it was a really, really windy day. So you really had no sense of the sounds happening in the bush at all, because the whole time all I could hear was 50km/h wind gusts up there, creaking trees, all sorts of stuff. It really made valid audio research kind of redundant. So I wanted to come back here because two things happened on the last trip. The first thing was that I got a really strong smell. And if you're familiar with the whole Yowie, Bigfoot, Sasquatch story, you'll know that a lot of people smell these beings even without seeing them. They seem to have a very unnatural, plastically burnt, electric kind of weird smell. Some people say it's like a dead animal. It's just a very unique smell. And I got a smell while I was here of burning plastic and poo. It's the only way I can describe it. And along with that, I found all the footprints. I found 3 footprints that way and 1 cracking footprint that way. I didn't bring the plaster cast kit. Now, part of this series, apart from trying to find evidence of Yowie habitation in the Australian bush, is also trying to find a new location that I can set up for my habituation site. I haven't really found much that's tickled my fancy in that regard, but this place, because of the smell, but mainly because of the footprints, if I'm honest. Smell could have been anything. The footprints could also be anything, but especially the one up there felt significant. So because of that, I wanted to come back here, I wanted to check it out again, and I wanted to come back on a day where I wasn't drowned out by the wind. And just to remind you of the approach that I take on this series, I'm not going to head out there. If I hear a noise, I'm not going to head out there and chase it. I don't believe that's there's much point in that. What I've learnt and what my research has led me to believe, that they are more interested in observing than being chased. If they were able to be chased successfully, we would have done it by now, and we could trap them and we could hunt them. These things are quite adept at avoiding detection, and as a result, I don't go out and chase them. If I hear something, I will just continue as I am. I believe that building a reliable, trusting habits, so that if they know you're sitting here, they can come near and they can observe if they observe, and they can observe if they want, and they know they won't get harassed. They can have a look and see what the heck I'm doing out here. So that's why I don't go chasing. I think chasing is fine for those that are into that. I don't have a problem. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just what I believe to be true. And, well, I'm going to go with what I believe because that's my research, right? So that's what I do. As a result, I do things at the campground here to draw in their attention. Music, clapsticks, and just generally do what I'm going to do. People that often have encounters, it wasn't because they were doing a particular thing and every time people do this particular thing, they have an encounter. It doesn't work like that. So I just do my thing. The problem with doing my thing is that I don't know if I'm going to get a good episode when I leave the house each time to come out here. Nothing could happen on this episode. Nothing at all could happen. And whilst that is findings in and of itself, nothing could happen. I might not hear a noise. I might not have a smell. I might not find another footprint. I might not, nothing could happen. And in which case, well, we have a short episode, right? At least you know I'm not faking stuff. I'm learning more and more and more and more about these beings all the time. And let's just say, I'm not entirely convinced that they live in the Aussie bush. They're more passing through. Now, a reminder, even though I mentioned it down there, there is more Yowie communications coming up. I've also started a new series called The Rabbit Hole, and this is where I just delve deep into unusual topics. Things that, you know, if I put it into these kind of videos or into my bushcraft channel, Bushcraft and Camping Adventures, if I put it onto my bushcraft channel, people are going to judge because they're not there for that content. A bit of a free thinking space, you know? And of course, I'm going to relabel all my Yowie communication videos in that series, and the upcoming Yowie communication videos will also be in the Rabbit Hole series. So I'll report back into this video the next time something happens. So with the night pushing on now, it's entering that time of evening where a lot of the action tends to pick up. I'm not sure if the energy of the place changes as the sun goes down and the moon comes up. It's very likely that that's the case. But, you know, there seems to be more dawn to night interactions than anything else. Well, what a still and peaceful night this is. The fire's roaring. There's a nice briskness to the air. And everything is quiet. There's been no activity, no movement, no sounds. Just me, relaxing, smashing my face with food. Just listening to the sounds of the night. But yeah, I'm just kicking back, just allowing the night to unfold, and yeah, nothing major has happened. So I guess I'll get back to you as the night progresses. Very soon I'm going to start my meditation. Probably sooner rather than later actually, but I'll be doing that meditation soon. Again, it can't hurt to try these different techniques, and it also can't hurt to meditate for a bit. I'm not big on it, but it's so easy to do out here because there's just nothing. There's no sound, it's peaceful, it's easy to do out here. So the night pushes on. Well, good morning. On the one hand, that was a really nice sleep. On the other hand, it was really disappointing. Nothing happened. It was just a really good night's sleep. I think this trip is going to be known as the one that got away. Maybe this site. I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you think? There's been absolutely nothing this time. There's been nothing. I don't know if there's any activity at this site. Maybe last trip was an anomaly. I mean, don't get me wrong, throughout the trip, there's been times where I've heard, something in the bush or an interesting animal call, but at the end of the day, I believe it's just been something in the bush and an unusual animal call. I don't think there's been any Yowie stuff at all. It's quite disappointing. I was just pottering around the side here, and I've noticed something right next to my campsite here. I'll show you. It's nothing, but it's interesting at the same time. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but we have a definite large bed here. The ground is a little bit bare and flattened down. You can see edges here. And it's quite large. You could have 3 people curl up together in that space. It's underneath all this. Bit of an X, bit of an arc. Show you from a different angle. It's not much, but it's interesting. coming at it from a different angle, there's another little one there. And there's the bed through there. I'm going to say it's nothing, but it was worth showing you. So I was going to leave this discussion for another whole video unto itself. Seeing how not a whole lot has happened in this episode, I'm going to put it in here. Because I find this really, really fascinating. And something which ties into some of the communications that I've had through Fifi lately. Now, I'm not sure the order in which I will release these videos. But there's either 3 videos coming up based on a brand new communication with Fifi, or you've just been able to watch 3 videos based on a communication with Fifi to a Yowie. Nagicam. You guys should know these videos. I've posted them on my channel before. Now in this communication, one of the things that was brought up, one of the big things that was brought up, was that Fifi was shown a spaceship. Not physically shown a spaceship, but she was allowed to visualize a spaceship. And that was meant to be an indicator of how, or at least a time that the Yowies have arrived onto this planet. Now this sounds absolutely crazy, especially out of context. But I bring it up because FBI has released some documentation that I just happened to stumble across during my researching, during my reading. You know, one night while I was bored, I just stumbled across it. And it's a declassified document regarding, well, not just aliens, but visitors from other dimensions. And I think there's a potential crossover event here between this story and our beloved Yowies. So if you have a look at the document here, it appears absolutely legit. It seems to have all the hallmarks that I've known throughout my life of, you know, your typical FBI declassified document. It could be forged. There's an absolute possibility it could be forged, could be fake. But I mean, really, if you see where you get it from an FBI archive website, and which seems completely legit. So I'm not sure what to make of it. But I'm going to go through it and talk to you about it because I think it's really important, and it's an interesting little extra addition to this field of research. So I've got it on my phone. What I want to do is I want to read through some of the key statements here. It was registered as the flying... I do believe this says the flying roll. July 8, 1947. It's seen to be published in something called The Round Robin. Now, who's to say that this wasn't satire? That was released back in the day, and it was tongue-in-cheek. We don't know. But there's a whole lot of writing at the top, which you can pause the video and you can read through yourself. But what I'm going to read out to you is what's in that red box. It says here, part of the disc carry crews. Others are under remote control. So we're talking about flying discs that were that entered into our space and were recovered. So part of them carried crews and lots of them were remote controlled. Their mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate settling on this plane. Okay? These visitors are human-like, but much larger in size. Now, you would assume if they were covered in hair, they would say, and covered in hair. But Yowie is certainly human-like and larger in size. But again, I would be surprised that they leave out the detail and covered in hair like bloody Chewbacca. You know, but nonetheless, let's keep reading. They are not excarnate Earth people. In other words, they are not people that have left Earth and returned, but come from their own world. They do not, and this is the interesting part, they do not come from any planet as we use this word, but from an etheric planet which interpenetrates with our own and is not perceptible to us. Now, one thing that's coming across in my communications is the patchwork of dimensions that seem to overlap this reality that we have here. So I'll read that again. They do not come from any planet as we use this word, but from an etheric planet which interpenetrates with our own and is not perceptible to us. That's very interesting. That would absolutely allow for the possibility that these beings could actually come into this plane and out of this plane back into their own reality, much like the Yowies have described to me through Fifi that they are doing. The bodies of the visitors and the craft also naturally materialize on entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter. That just means this is dense matter, this is dense matter, this is dense matter. Everything that's solid and 3D in our reality is dense matter. And so it's saying that their bodies and their crafts naturally materialize when they enter this realm. And again, that could be descriptions of predator-like cloaked beings. The discs possess a type of radiant energy or array which will easily disintegrate any attacking ship. They re-enter the etheric at will, and so simply disappear from our vision without trace. So again, this is a suggestion that things that are there and then that are not people's imaginations, both ships and people. The region from which they come is not the astral plane, but corresponds to the locus or talas. Now I believe they are old, ancient descriptions of flying ships, oval vessels. Students of esoteric matters will understand these terms. They probably cannot be reached by radio, but probably can be by radar, if the signal system can be devised for that apparatus. So they can't be reached by radio, but probably can be reached by radar. I don't understand enough about technical to go into that. So, how does this relate to the Yowies? From what Najikam has told us in our communications with Fifi, these guys are not of this world. They live in another reality. And that reality, they can basically step, like stepping through a door from this reality to the other reality. We were given the vision of a ship, which clashes with some of the other ideas that we have, but I think it's down to us not knowing enough that we don't quite get the context of the ship. But we were given a vision of a ship. Now, one possible solution to that, if they say they've been here since the beginning, since the dream time, which is what they have told me through the latest communication, then it could stand to reason that their world and our world have been superimposed since the dream time. But in order to enter this world, maybe they needed to arrive in a ship due to perhaps some technology that may have existed on the ship. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just saying that is really interesting and does somewhat jive quite well with some of the Yowie lore that we're gathering. And I wouldn't be the first person to say UFOs and Bigfoots, there's a connection. But again, I haven't listened to any of that stuff. I'm not familiar with any of that stuff. So this is just all coming from my extrapolations and what I know. So it's something that I think that's quite interesting. I think that's a very interesting little thing to discuss and bring up in a Yowie video, because as I always say, free thinking zone, you can't limit yourself to possibilities when we don't understand the true nature of what we are, of what we're in, of what can be here with us. We think we understand, but it would be absolute arrogance and foolery to think that thinking we understand is actual knowledge and understanding. Because I don't believe it is. I don't believe we actually understand much. So I'm heading out on one last mission. See if I can dig up anything of note on this trip. This whole region might depend on this little adventure right now. It really might. If I find something, then maybe there's life. I didn't just fall. Then maybe there's life in this area yet, but if I don't, then this area might be history. What's this through here? Okay, this is interesting. Nothing else. Would you look at that? There's a whole lot of exposed soil here. Look at this. Have you ever seen a tree split like that before? Now that's no lightning strike. What the hell is that? That split dead in half. That's actually pretty cool. The tree looks very healthy. There's no sign of burning or scarring, so it's not a lightning strike. Right by the base of it is that. This is quite interesting. And both sides seems to have gone together. There's a little game trail through here underneath it as well. It's all flattened out. Very interesting. I'm not sure what would cause that. Just keep pushing through and see what we can find.
Here's another. What are these areas? Big clearings of flat space. I don't understand. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. No way. There's another tree split right down the middle. So let's again note this tree, okay? I've never seen a tree like that before. Just split right down the middle. I can see another one down here. It's far away though. Big massive limbs here. Just unusual flat spaces. There's a whole bunch of tree breaks here. Alright, I'm gonna have to explore down here. I may have found something, guys. I may have found something. This is definitely, I'm glad I have gators type walking. Well, I'll tell you what, it opens up a lot more than I thought it would through here. Now this is an interesting location. Okay. Look, there's the other tree split right there. Aren't they interesting splits? And look at this area, we got an arch here. Okay, I'm glad I went on this walk. We have found something. Look at this, this tree is being weighted down right here. There is a tree break there, a tree break there, tree break there, tree break there. Okay. Alright guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about non-weather related structures. What I said you need is things going in different directions and it's not like a clear wind blow. So this tree here, how the heck does this bend all the way down and get underneath all these breaks? We've got 1, 2, a big split limb here, 3, 4, and the archway, 5 tree breaks all coming into a center space here. With that in the distance. And the other split tree right there, I'm not sure if you can see it. So I'm exactly between the 2 split trees, exactly between them. Let's see if I can get a better shot on this. Let's see what I can pull out here. It really seems like it's an aerial asterisk that ends up over this stump. Everything is coming in to a center point on this stump. The only break that's not is this one here, which just goes down in front of me. Okay, this is a really interesting little area through here. I'm so glad I walked down here. And look at this. Look at all the felled limbs and trees through here. Another one right there. I mean, I've never seen trees like this anywhere in the bush. Wait, what is that? I mean, look at this. What the heck is this? How the hell do these all end up on top of each other like this? In all different directions. Oh wow, this is a weird area. I mean, just turn around and look at this. Everything's just piled on top of itself here. With that big tree break right there. I don't understand these splits. I've never seen them before. These are brand new. I've never seen anything like these splits before. There's another one down here. Why are these happening? I'm gonna have to walk you over. Look at this ground. It's all dug up and turned up. Why is everything so flat through here? Like everything is just flattened. It's absolutely flattened. But look, I don't see any footprints through here. Another just pile of debris, just absolute piles of debris here. You got okay, I'm gonna put it down there. This is where you walk way further than you ever intended to, because your eyes just keep getting drawn out further and further. I've still got to go back to the original formation and check it out proper. So look, you can see there's just a random, with no tree attached to it, there's just a random limb just sitting in the tree there, but behind it there's another one of those split trees. Why? Why do these things exist? There's a huge pile of debris there. We got plenty of horizontal trees. This is interesting. I'm so glad I took this walk. So glad I took this walk. What are we dealing with here? Multiple split, like butterflied, like the trees have been butterflied open, either on both sides or a single side butterfly like that. We're getting lower and lower towards the valley floor. I'm probably not going to walk down to the valley floor right now, if I'm completely honest. I'll push it a little bit further just to see what else comes up. Well, this was a unexpected little treat. Maybe this site has potential again. Here's that split tree I was talking about. Why is there so many? Actually, look. I think that tree had borer. This tree I'm going to write off because I can see what looks like. Look at the break, the wood's nice and clean, and then go up top, it gets very muddy and dirty. And I believe that is like, kind of like that sawdust thing that borers leave behind. So this tree may have split from borers, but I still don't understand how, if it's rotting up the top, how it makes the bottom here split all the way down. There's breaks here. There's a lot of something happening through here. I don't know what exactly. Tree break here. The floor's not very steady, I'll tell ya. Okay, look, we've got a tree break going towards the middle here. Another tree break going into the same spot. We've got a bizarre curved tree there that just makes absolutely no sense. How does that tree work? Right above us, we're actually sitting underneath the teepee as we speak. This stuff is really hard to show. Really hard to show you. Look, there's like a teepee there and a teepee there. All made of broken trees. That's that single split limb, that single butterfly limb there. I don't know how to show you this properly, I really don't. But you can see this bent, curled tree here. I don't know how that happens. Like seriously, I don't know how that happens. That's legit curled, man. I don't know how the hell that happens. It's not caught on anything. That is weird. This is a really interesting spot. This whole area is, whoops, there goes the tree. Now there's a bit of a drop off there, so I'm kind of now limited in where I go and what I do. And all I've done is walk down the hill. This is another interesting area. Look at this huge, just flat piece of land. There's rocky outcrop here, and that's soil. There's just nothing here. Really interesting feel to it too. These rocks look almost man-made. This has been a site of an old residence. We know people can make their home throughout this area throughout the past. I wonder. That just screams snakes, doesn't it, down there? So there's definitely a straight line of these butterfly split trees. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes single split, double split in a long line here, and I can't follow it any further because I've got that and then a drop off, so I can't go any further. I shouldn't say a drop off, it's actually more just a steeper hill, but I'm not keen on tackling it. Yeah, this is a fascinating spot. I got to assume all these trees that are down through weather. All these thin, long, many branches style trees. We've got to assume they're weather. We almost don't have any other choice but to assume that because it's just too ubiquitous. It's everywhere. No footprints through here. And the problem is I don't believe I could actually camp down here. It's too hard to get through, to get down here. And remember, I followed what appeared to be a game trail kind of thing to get down here. See, there's the split there, there's the double split there, and there's another split further up, and that literally takes me back to my campsite. But then there's also the single split there. So as I say, there is 2 single splits like that and 2 double butterfly splits of trees, and I've never seen that before. Alright, I'm going to walk back up to that original formation and see if I can get some kind of better angle on it to show you exactly what's happening here, because I think we're into a very interesting and possibly significant area. Look at this, this is that structure. everything is coming to a central point over that stump. There's no denying it. We got the 3 coming in here, the 2 coming in there. We have the central stump, not to mention this big limb that split off from the tree right there in another butterfly style. And you can't say that these broken limbs here were dragged down by this big log here, because they are resting on top of the big log. So this big branch that broke first. Everything that's coming in, every single one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the arch, and even this fallen tree here is sitting on top of this big log. So this log was not responsible in any level, way, shape or form for these breaks. And look what I just noticed. If you go in here, look at this. This here is sitting directly in between, down the guts of that log, and that's from the big limb that fell here. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about when I say structures that probably aren't natural. Underneath the archway, we have a depression of flat ground. Now again, of course, I do a sweep visually for footprints, and I check all the surfaces if there's any hairs sticking to things. But I do that off camera because that's boring. So this is very cool. Very cool. I hope you're seeing this structure. I've said it 4 times now. The archway, the tree break going on top of this central limb, landing on top of that tree stump. Another tree break on a central limb. There's the central limb, and there's 2 more tree breaks coming down. I can't think of any natural phenomena that could cause this and leave the land around it relatively unscathed. It's within eyesight of that butterfly and the other butterfly right up through there, lower to the ground. This is very cool. This spot is very cool, and I do believe this is a significant structure. There's a rhyme and a reason to this. It's not just accidental. Definitely not just accidental. I'm just going to have a quick look around it. That's definitely an aerial asterisk created from tree breaks and an archway. That is super fascinating. Now, I say I don't usually like archways because trees can die in that position, but this one is absolutely weighted down in an intentionally significant manner, I believe. I don't believe this is nature. I don't believe it's nature. How can nature cause 2 to come this way, 2 to come that way, an archway, and they all land on a tree stump which has a big split log which is there from before these things, right down the guts of the actual stump itself. I hope I'm explaining it well. Conveniently placed between 2 butterfly split trees. I'm going to just walk over here and just see what's over here. I don't want to walk through here. I don't want to disturb. I'll keep the camera rolling. Where's my other glove? Right here. Almost lost my other glove. Tell you what, it happens when you least expect it. I wasn't even going to do this walk. But I thought, I'll just go out. This episode hasn't had much. And look what we got. So now we're on the other side of this tree break, of this structure, sorry. So now on the other side of this structure, a lot of bare ground, Could be some kind of bed up there. I'll go check that in a second. And a lot of debris all in one spot. Doesn't appear to be anything else through here. Which I'm kind of relieved at, because that kind of draws more attention and more significance to this structure if there's less happening around it. So I'm kind of happy with that. And less places to go. Something seemed to have sat there. But I mean, we have wallabies, etc., in this area, so it could easily be them. Let's go investigate this little flattened bedding area up here. Yeah, that's definitely something. That's definitely something. That's way, you can see how the grass has been pushed. That is, you can even see here what looks like it's been pushed down and then pushed up from weight. Not recently, but something definitely better down there. Again, I'm not entirely sure that, given what I'm starting to believe about the Yowies, if they would bed down. I'm not sure they would bed down. Maybe they would. But that's an interesting area. That's an interesting area. Most likely just generic animal, but worth pointing out. The beddings I don't give much credence to, but I'm going to start pointing them out just in case. All right. Really interesting location here. I'm not specifically sure what to make of it. Oops, I've walked back through the formation. Crap. I've got to go back. You don't want to disturb these things too much when you find them. We don't understand the purpose, and we definitely don't want to be getting in the way and creating problems. So just quite simply, don't break anything in them. Try not to walk through them. Just walk around them. Do your best. It's not so hard to go the long way. Alright, so I'm going to have to take some photography, get all this documented, look for hairs, and get back to campsite and start packing up, I think. What an excellent discovery on the back end of a trip that I thought I wouldn't find anything. Really cool. Good stuff. Alright guys, as I head back to my site, to my campsite, I gotta ask you all a question. What do you think of this site? I feel like coming here, I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like there's a presence here. It doesn't. Throughout yesterday, last night, this morning, it feels like it's just me. I don't feel like there's anything special going on here. But if we combine the footprints, the smell, and that structure, is this worth making the permanent base camp? Or at least the next permanent base camp? Is it worth setting up our habituation here? I don't want to have numerous episodes that are just continuous nothing. I sit here and I talk to you about stuff, Yowie. I want to have stuff like that. I want to have stuff happening. I want to be getting interactions. I want to be getting, stories unfolding from this site. I'm just not sure what to make of it. It's a nice site. I like it. I obviously like it because I've started to build it up. Maybe we try another couple of sites and then we come back here. If they all fail, maybe this is our backup habituation site now. Maybe if I put something down near that area, we might get a potential habituation site where we can interact and leave tests and skills and gifts and all that kind of thing.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make of this site. I'm a little bit undecided. You guys got to let me know. But think about it critically and really have a think about it. Don't just flippantly say, yeah, it's great, stay. Think about that nothing really happened here on this trip at all. I couldn't find the footprint, and if I didn't go for that walk this morning, not much would have happened. So at this point in time, I'm probably leaning towards come back here, but not next trip. Next trip, find somewhere else new and try out another location and suss it out. Or maybe even do something completely different. But I'll leave that in my head for now. I won't let you know what I'm thinking. Well, whatever you think, let me know. For me, it's starting to get to that time where I've got to pack up. Those split butterfly, I'm going to call them butterfly splits, because you know your butterfly sausage and you open it up. Those butterfly split trees, very interesting. I've been in a lot of bushland and I haven't seen anything like that before. I understand that if the joint gets a little weak, it can slowly just creak away and fall. But why have I not seen that anywhere else? I've never seen that kind of thing. And that first one, that big one, looks fresh. It's not like the other tree where it looked like there's sign of borers. That just looks like it's been reefed open. And it's not a lightning strike because there's no scarring, there's no burnification, there's nothing. Well, at least this video finally threw up some questions, right? At least this video finally got there. I think this has been a good episode now. It's going to be a long episode. I'm assuming this is pushing over 40 minutes at least. I hope you hung around to the end. But regardless, thank you for watching. I'm going to end this one here. And I'm going to move on to bigger and better things on the next trip. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as usual, if you're not liking these videos, please like them. It really helps the YouTubes spread these videos far and wide. And that's what we want. We want eyes getting on this series. The more eyes I have on this, the more feedback I can get from you guys and the more ideas I can get for what I can do. So thank you for watching. Until next time, it's bye-bye from me. And I will catch you on the next one. Until next time, it's bye-bye from me. And I'll catch you on the next episode of Yowie, Finding Australia's Sasquatch. Bye for now.